Possibly the most positive way of reducing road accident statistics may lie in improving the general standard of driving, particularly during the formative stages of initial driving instruction. And over at Harrow, I have seen what could well turn out to be a major breakthrough. They've opened this Harrow Driving Centre, basically a miniature purpose-built road complex, but one that is off the public highway. It offers in Britain a new concept in learning roadcraft, because here, free from the real hazards of crowded roads, parked cars and the rest of us impatient drivers, there's a controlled environment, as near as, damn it, akin to the real thing. It includes a roundabout, traffic lights, there's crossroads, plus other types of junctions, as well as a one-way system. There's a tricky hill start over there, places for you to reverse into so that you can practice your car reversing. You can even try out your three-point turns without damaging either your wings or the other fellas. In fact, they've even got a zebra crossing. So let's look into the origins of this Harrow Council scheme. Alderman Moat, I gather this was really your idea. How did it come about?
It arose from a world business trip in 1963. I'd already seen most of the approaches to learner driver tracks all over the world. But when I got to Tokyo, I found for the first time a combination of every possible road traffic hazard in a confined space, where people were learning to drive under controlled conditions, but with all the hazards.
How did you persuade your colleagues that this was a good move to make?
Well, I took a cinefilm from one of the high buildings overlooking the track, and I then took another film from riding around inside a car, took a whole series of stills, and then arranged to show it when I got back to the council.
That was convincing itself. How much has the whole scheme cost, Mr. Moat?
This project here has cost £90,000, of which £19,000 has come from the GLC.
And who's going to pay for the rest?
It should be self-supporting. It certainly is in Tokyo.
So it will be through charges that you make. Alderman Jock Campbell, I gather you are the clan leader, or so you're called. Who do you hope will use the tracks here, apart from learner drivers?
Well, of course, it's first of all aimed at the school youngsters, especially as the school leaving age has been increased. It's part of the curriculum in some of the schools already, and that's one of the important ones. Other than that, of course, we have the normal people who want to be prepared for their test, come through the various private schools in Harrow itself.
Out on the circuit, all sorts of things are going on. There are driving instructors and their pupils. The caravan that I mentioned. Now look, what a good idea this is, because unless you know of a disused airfield or you've got a friendly farmer, where else could you practice this sort of manoeuvre without getting in everybody's way? In fact, a lot of local schools will be taking advantage of these driving tracks. Well, admittedly, of course, it is off the beaten track, or at least it's off the public roads, but it's still a fairly unusual step for schoolboys and schoolgirls. And one of the first schools to take advantage of this is the Belmont Secondary Modern School for Boys. Mr. Pikett here, the headmaster, has been watching his lads do their tour of the circuit. I say it's an unusual step, Mr. Pikett. What's the reaction been to the idea?
The reaction to the idea from the boys has been enthusiasm throughout, I think, and all boys would certainly like to be able to take part. At the moment, this isn't possible.
Is this just a bit of fun, or is it going to become part of school life?
This is a very serious part of school life. It's so serious, in fact, that we have endeavoured to integrate it as a part of the academic curriculum to include an examination as well.
You mean the lads will actually take exams in driving as part of their school life?
Boys will be able to take the road safety aspect as part of a CSE examination, which involves science and engineering, and safety as the third element.
Isn't the course going to become rather overcrowded, do you think?
The course itself won't be overcrowded because it is not open to all boys. It's open to a certain number of boys who volunteer, who wish to take part, and who are able within their timetable to include it.
So this will be in school time, but they did say earlier on that this place has got to pay for itself. So who's going to pay for your boys to learn to drive?
This will depend on those who are learning. Those taking part in an examination or school curriculum course, there will be no charge. But for boys who wish to take part after school and learn to drive in this way, it's assumed, I think, that parents will contribute and pay for them to learn if they can afford to do so.
But not all the activities happen outside. There are other facilities too. Inside the main building, there are lecture rooms as well as simulators where instructors can put pupils through their paces without in fact moving an inch. So far, this centre is surprisingly unique, being the only one in Britain being linked with a local authority. The initial finance has come in the main from the Harrow ratepayer, and therefore it's only right, really, that the main beneficiaries have, of necessity, to be the people of Harrow. So let's hope it might be possible one day for all road users, wherever they live, to at least have the opportunity of being able to pass through such a centre, learning to live with the car.